good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're listening. This is Tim Heidecker. I'm your host on the On Cinema podcast. I have been really enjoying putting this podcast out and have been having a lot of fun talking about some of my favorite movies and some movies I'm not so familiar with. But it's been a real fun experience doing this podcast. I've been doing it from a technical side. I've been sort of doing it on my own and learning along the way. So thank you for bearing with me. And I thought what we could do, because we are here in the summer, and I hope everyone's having a great summer, by the way. I'm having a great summer. And we're going to be taking a few weeks off, probably about 6 weeks off, and just taking a break. I'm going to be traveling, and some of my guests, I know Greg Turkington is going to be traveling, and I'm sure some other people are very busy as well. So we're going to, as they say, go on a little hiatus here and come back in September. So what I thought we could do is listen back and remember some of the earliest episodes of On Cinema. And this is stuff, if you haven't listened to the early episodes, it's kind of fun to look back and remember where it all started from. It's primitive in a way because I was doing a lot of this recording on my phone through the phone recorder. So the quality isn't as good, but you can really hear sort of the beginning of where it came from. And of course, we've graduated up into working in my home studio, and a lot of the voiceover classes that I've taken have really sort of paid off, because you can hear in my voice how new I am at the whole experience. So sit back, take a listen, stroll down memory lane, if you will, and check out one of a few of our favorite early episodes. And again, have a great summer. We'll be the whole On Cinema team will be back raring and ready to go in September, and have a whole new slew of movies and a bunch of new great, cool, special, exciting things happening in September. So until then, keep checking out the movies. I hope you enjoy all the summer blockbusters that come out. There's so many, just almost too many to name here. So enjoy and take care and have a great summer. Hey, welcome back. We're talking On Cinema. I'm Tim Heidecker, your host. We are talking and celebrating the 20th anniversary of Ghostbusters. With me is film buff Greg Turkington. Greg, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So Ghostbusters, Ivan Reitman, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, that film's a classic, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's got all the notes. It hits all the notes. It hits comedy. It hits sci-fi. It hits adventure. It's a landmark film. It's one of the great films of the '80s in terms of comedies.
And a lot of people don't realize how popular it was, because it was just that popular.
You know, I watched it recently and was struck by how funny it is, and also how original it was, because there wasn't a lot of movies like that at the time.
That was the first movie like that, and I don't think there was a sequel, but other than that, there's never been anything like it.
All right. Well, any Academy Awards for that? I don't think it won any, but, that's not...
The Academy, sometimes they make the wrong decisions.
Right. Well, thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Hey everybody, this is Tim Heidecker, and we are once again here for the On Cinema podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about movies and our favorite movies, and I'm joined by my special guest. Greg Turkington is a film buff.
Yeah,
so,
that's funny.
Welcome, Greg.
Thanks. As always, it's great to be here. I always look forward to this all week long, and really proud of the work you've done with this podcast in getting it around and in keeping it commercial free.
Yes, well, that's important. Although we'd all like to be making a ton of money, I think this is just a passion project for us.
It's a labor of love.
Anyways, our movie today is Carlito's Way. starring Al Pacino and directed by Brian De Palma. Greg, have you had a chance to see this movie?
You know, I've seen most films. I consider myself kind of a minor league expert in cinema. That's one that somehow slipped through the cracks.
Oh.
It was not a big picture.
I'm
it
sorry.
was one that didn't play in the theaters very long, not readily available.
Okay, well, I thought I'd let you know we were talking about Carlito's Way, but let me tell you a little
Not
bit.
on DVD.
Okay, I think it
So
is.
I have a VHS player too.
Mm-hmm.
Not available. I've looked for it. I mean, it's a great film. People love it, but sometimes the
Well, let me
studios.
tell you about that.
You should get people to send petitions to
Right.
Paramount Pictures to get these things released.
Listen, a
'cause
lot
it's
of
about
people
preserving film.
Well, yes, I'm pretty sure we can get a hold of it if you look hard enough. But a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that Carlito's Way is a sequel to what the hell?
Cutter's Way.
No, the Pacino movie from the '80s with De Palma.
The women, the Scent of a Woman.
No, Scarface.
Scarface. Okay.
But it's not. It's actually just a similar story, almost as if that character was older. But I liked it. It's very violent. It has a lot of racy scenes in it. Sean Penn is actually very good in it, playing a very devious character.
And
So,
good luck finding it, though. I mean, that's one that you just don't see. It's
Okay.
just not around.
if you're looking for a movie to watch this week, go try to get a copy of Carlito's
Try.
Way. Yes, try to get a copy of Carlito's Way and watch it with your. Definitely don't watch it with kids.
I've been looking for that movie for years.
Definitely can get hold of Carlito's Way. So thank you very much, and we will see you next week on In Cinema.
Thanks for listening. Visit
Okay, you don't need to say that. Thank you. Hello, welcome back. Thanks for listening. My name is Tim Heidecker, and you are listening to On Cinema. Talking about movies, pop culture, movies, new movies, old movies, and my guest is film buff Greg Turkington. Greg?
Hey, everyone.
Thanks for coming in again, Greg, and doing this with me.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
I look forward to this, and I look forward to reading comments and hearing people talk about what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, well, it's been a real eye-opener for me to see what people like and what people don't like, and obviously we'll keep working on it.
And we have our own tastes. I mean, everyone does. So
That's right. Well, I want to talk today because we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of the first Lethal Weapon movie starring Danny Glover and
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson, yes. Sorry. I should have said Mel Gibson first because he's sort of the more famous, he's the bigger star out of the two.
But I think in the film they're both. I mean,
It is equally.
they're partners.
Yeah.
and that's what made the series work.
Right. Yeah, so I wanted to not only talk about the first Lethal Weapon, but I also wanted to talk about the sequels because I feel like you kind of have to talk about all the Lethal Weapons because they're all different for different reasons. But I think they're all pretty. I don't remember the last one, but at least the first two or three are really good movies.
Well, the thing to do, and I mean, you can do this at home with friends or whatever, is just to stack them all up in your player and just watch them one after another and just see how the story progresses and just follow these guys as they do their thing. And that's a fun afternoon.
Okay. Well, yeah, we should do that sometime. So I don't think the Lethal Weapon, directed by Richard Donner, really broke any molds that didn't exist because you had cop movies. But what do you think was so special about it? Was it the chemistry between Danny and
Mel Gibson. Well, what can you say? I mean, this is just a successful franchise, and people really liked it. And it didn't have a hit single attached. It wasn't a music video driven film. It was about a friendship, and you had some you had some drama. You had some police scenes.
It's funny you mentioned the music because Eric Clapton did a lot of the music for Lethal Weapon.
I'd have to check on that. I mean,
he did.
He did.
Yeah, if you remember, there's a lot of blues.
Well, he's
music
great.
in it, so,
He's great.
Anyways, so if you haven't seen Lethal Weapon,
And don't just watch one. I mean, you really owe it to yourself to watch them all, and in order.
Definitely. So check it out. It's on TV all the time, but I know it's on Netflix, or you can
Blu-ray
rent it.
now. Do you have the Blu-ray?
I don't have
one either.
I don't have a Blu-ray. Edit that. Blu-ray player.
Yeah. But they're out there. Best Buy is a place where people get them, and you probably pick up some of the films there. There may be a box set with all the Lethal Weapon
right.
together.
Well, I don't want to officially say that because I don't know if there is.
Well, I said there may be.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But and also the famous artwork from the cover is very. Also, I just want to mention that the poster is very with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson on the cover.
Oh, with a gun.
I don't want to get.
If you're a real film buff like I am. You'll go on eBay and you'll buy the poster. You'll buy the T-shirt. You'll buy the stills from the movie.
I don't want to get hung up on the poster, but one last thought on Lethal Weapon, the series, is Joe Pesci. We got to give him credit.
Yeah,
for making a big. When you just because
all
you can't just go.
To Joe Pesci.
All props to Joe Pesci. So we love Joe Pesci. Joe, if you ever want to call in or do the show,
and
let us know.
We might do a whole Joe Pesci retrospective on this show. We'll just have to
we'll
see. Yeah.
All right.
Promise it, so see you guys.
Maybe even a Martin Scorsese retrospective. We'll see. No promises. But thanks for listening, guys. All right. Have a great one, and we'll see you soon.
See ya.
Hey, welcome back. This is On Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker. Joined with me is Mr. Greg Turkington. Greg, thanks for coming on the show again.
Hey, it's always fun to be here.
Today we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
That's a classic. That was a big hit for Mr. Kubrick.
Now, it was originally based on a Stephen King book, correct?
Yeah, and I've never read the book, and I always meant to read it because I love the movie.
Yeah, well, you have Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall and
the Scatman.
Scatman Crothers. Right. And it's a chilling, I guess you could call it a horror movie or a thriller. It deals sort of with paranormal activity, in a hotel.
Yeah.
Very well made, for a horror movie. It was very well made, very high quality.
Especially for the time, I think.
Yeah. And I believe it won an Academy Award, or?
It was nominated. I don't know. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
Get back to you guys on that.
All right.
But yeah, what can you say about The Shining? I mean,
it's one of the great horror movies, right up there with the rest of them. Like Psycho and
the haunted, the haunted house,
Poltergeist,
and Jack Nicholson. I mean,
that's got to be one of Jack Nicholson's greatest performances.
What can you say? I mean, this is prime Nicholson.
What's the famous line? There's a lot of famous lines from the movie, but one of the famous is where he quotes, "Here's Johnny."
And of course, Johnny Carson at the time was also very popular.
Was at the height of his success.
And, be interesting to know if they went on the show to promote this movie.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to me about Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.